Christina with Bubblegum Paper, and I'm here with an Up on the Rooftop birthday card. It's not a Christmas card, it's a birthday card. And I'm featuring products from Mama Elephant and the Stamps of Life. Today's card is for my big brother, so happy birthday, Ga. I hope you have a wicked awesome day. And here is a close-up of what the card looks like, and let's get started. I'm using the Carried Away and Lunar Animal stamp sets from Mama Elephant along with their So Fancy dies. I'm also using the Candles for Birthday stamp set from the Stamps of Life and their scalloped border dies. As with most of my cards, I'm going to start with all of my stamping, and then I'm going to go in and color all of these images with Copic markers. For the pig in the hat, I stamped it a couple times because I didn't know exactly how I wanted to color them. And then for the little girl, I accidentally dropped my acrylic block, so you see that extra little smudge. So I had to stamp her a second time as well. Now for this pig, my brother was born in the year of the pig, so I thought it would be fun to feature a pig on this card. However, I wanted to turn this into a balloony pig, so I was trying to make it look even more inflated than it already is. So I'm using a series of reddish pinks, and then I'm going in with the colorless blender and taking away some of the color at the top so it kind of makes it a little bit more transparent. And then afterwards, I'm going to go in with a white Uniball pen, and I'm just going to draw in some accents and highlights. I didn't actually get all of that on camera because I think I moved my paper too far down, but it's there. And then for the little girl and little boys, I'm coloring them in with a series of reds and blues. My brother's jacket is going to be sort of a khaki color because he used to wear this members only jacket in the 80s, and it was like so funny. So I made that like a khaki color. And then I used to have this really fun jacket that was blue with a red collar. I don't even know if it was stylish, but I loved it so much. So that's why I chose this color combination. And we grew up in Massachusetts, so it was always freezing, freezing cold. So anyhow, there's a bunch of coloring here. I'm going to set this to some music, and I'll be back at the end. Next, I'm going to take the coordinating dies and die cut all the pieces out. Now, I didn't get the little cap coloring on camera either, but it's there. And then I'm going to cut out a So Fancy stitched rectangle, which will be the card base, the front of the card. And then I'm taking a bunch of scraps of gray paper. So I have all this gray paper sitting in my stash, and I'm using the scalloped border die. This is the larger scallop border that's solid. And I'm just running this through 3 times. I actually cut out a bunch more that you'll see me use as guides, but for the actual card and the rooftop, I'm only using 3 pieces. Now I'm going to go in and shade the bottom of color yellow, which is actually the color of our house when we were growing up. We had a cool yellow house with coral shutters. It was definitely unique. And then I'm adding in some sky using tumbled glass distress ink. Now the reason why I'm putting the 2 little kids on a roof is because when we were kids, we figured out a way to get out on the roof of our house. And you would go through the bathroom, step on the toilet, and exit the window. Now this was not a safe thing to do, so if you are a child and you're watching my videos, do not do this at home. Please stay indoors. But I wanted to go check it out, and I played the violin, so I wanted to become the fiddler on the roof. Yes, I'm a nerd. And my brother was my accomplice and helped me out. Now for the actual roof, I'm going to use a combination of weathered wood distress ink and the darker hickory smoke distress ink for the edges. And I'm just going to layer this on all three pieces of the roof. So I'm starting with the bottom piece, I'm making it a little darker, and then as I go up with the top layers, I'm using lighter pressure so it's lighter on top. To assemble the roof, I'm just layering those three pieces on top of each other using regular tape runner adhesive. And then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife, ruler, and cutting mat, and I'm just trimming them down. This is so old school, just using the X-Acto knife. But I'm trimming down the edges so that they'll fit the width of the card. And then I'm going in and cutting off the edges at a slight diagonal so I can have a slightly slanted rooftop. Now that I have the roof, I'm just taping it down in place using my Tombow adhesive tape runner. That is my favorite tape runner by far. It is slightly removable when you first put it on, and then it's permanent when it dries. Now for the pig balloon, I didn't feel like it looked like a balloon yet, so I decided to take some glossy accents, which is a really thick glue, and it dries and makes the surface kind of like a puffy sticker. So I'm using the glossy accents and I'm just gluing that all over the pig, and then I'm using the little tip of my glossy accents bottle. It actually broke off, so so I'm just using it in pieces and I'm just spreading it out. It's kind of like the way they make cookies. I've seen them make cookies this way, and they spread out the icing. So here's a close-up of what that pig looks like. Now it's cloudy when it's wet, but once it dries it'll be super clear. Now while I set the pig aside to dry, I'm just I'm just figuring out where I want to stamp the sentiment. So I'm putting the two kids down as a guide, and then I'm just using Memento Tuxedo Black ink and I'm stamping the happy birthday sentiment from the Candles for Birthday stamp set. And I'm just stamping that right above the roof. I'm going to use some foam adhesive and tape that behind the two kids, and then the pig will be flying up. So I don't have a string stamp for this, or I do have a string stamp, but it's not exactly the same size, or it's not the exact placement. So I decided to just use a Copic multi-liner pen, and then I draw in, at first I drew in a bow, and then I decided I didn't like the bow, so I just made it a squiggle. And luckily the little girl's hand can cover my mistakes. So I'm just going to wait for that pig to dry, and then I'll come back. So here's what the pig looks like when it's dry, and it's like puffy, and when you touch it, it's kind of thick. I also added glossy accents on the little hat. I forgot to show that on camera. So now I'm ready to assemble the card. I'm placing the girl down first since she's the center element, ha ha ha, because she's holding the string. So I want to make sure I get her placed correctly. Then I add my brother, and then I add the pig. And lastly, I'll put the hat on top. And I'm using foam adhesive for all three of these elements, or all four of these elements. I'm going to use my Wink of Stella pen, and I'm just adding some glitter to the two little kids. And then I will glue this to a regular A2 top folding card base. And then there is my finished card. Here are two close-ups of what that finished card looks like. Happy, happy birthday, Ga. I hope you have an awesome birthday, and go climb a roof. Just kidding. Stay inside, stay safe. Thank you all so much for watching. Here are two more birthday cards I made featuring balloons. The one on the left is for my nephew, so my brother's son, and the one on the right is for one of my best friends. So I hope you guys enjoy this. You can follow me on social media at Bubblegum Paper and visit my blog at bubblegumpaper.com. Thanks and have a great day. Bye!